What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That's Kind of Mid podcast. As always, I'm your co-host Sam, and this is my other co-host Brighton.
Yo, what's up?
And I say my, it's more so your. Like if it's any one of our podcasts, it's more yours. But
Yeah,
whatever,
I just do
doesn't
the
matter.
the
Details.
editing and the paying for it and all the other stuff, but it's fine.
I do the talking stuff. I guess you do too. Whatever. I'm just here so you have someone to talk to. But
Yeah.
anyways, Brighton, do you want to tell the people what we're gonna go over this week?
Okay, so as always, we're gonna talk about what we've been up to. Then we got some interesting news, some game related stuff, some movie related stuff, TV related stuff. Star Wars Celebration happened this past weekend in Japan, and the Sinners movie came out, which kind of out of nowhere, at least for me. So we're
Yeah.
gonna review that, non-spoiler and spoiler reviews. There should be time codes in the description so you can jump around to, I guess, whatever you find more interesting, or you can listen to it all, which would be preferable, but it's fine.
We got to get those minutes listened up.
Yeah. So I guess we'll jump straight into what we've been up to. What have you been up to, Sam?
A little bit. This past week's kind of been of a mixed bag for me. I mean, like, once again, like, just for me and Brian, we've both been playing Minecraft because, the grind never stops. But I guess more specifically to me, I've been finishing up a couple animes that have been there. I had like a few episodes left. One of those, which is Solo Leveling. I don't know if you've heard of it, Brighton. Like it's
Yeah, you
pretty
told me
big
about
right
it.
now.
Yeah.
It's like I compare it to like a John Wick of animes in the fact that like the story is like good, but like you come here for the action. Like every episode, it's just the main character showing up and defeating a bad guy, and he looks super cool, and the animation's super cool. So like in that aspect, it's really good. But I also finished up Freerun, which is something that I think you would really enjoy. Really good anime. It's if season one is like a tell for anything that is to come, I think this could end up being like one of my favorite animes of all time, and like could be like the best anime I've ever seen, because like it's
What
just
is
like
it?
it's a great TV show. It's called Freerun Beyond Journey's End. It's on Netflix. You could watch it. It basically what it's about is there's this elf, and in this world elf follows Lord of the Rings rules, so like they live like practically forever. And it starts where she's like at part of this like group of people who defeated the Demon King, which is like, bad guy in the universe. They just defeated him, and they were bit together for like 10 years, but for her 10 years is like nothing. So
Yeah.
like whenever they say farewell to each other, everybody else is like obviously really sad, and she's not so sad and doesn't like understand it. And anyways, this is all like first episode stuff. Her party members end up dying, and she sees how like it affects everybody else in the land, because like obviously like these people saved the world.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's something I'm missing here. Like I should have cared more about these people. So like throughout the course of the show, you see her like trying to understand like humanity and like why they have these certain feelings. And it's amazing. Like it's got a little bit of that Avatar The Last Airbender vibe, where you can just pop in any episode and they'll just like, Avatar The Last Airbender, they might just be walking through a cave and the episode's goated. For this, it's like, okay, the characters are going to go out to eat, but the episode's goated. So
Interesting. Sounds pretty shitty to me, but
you will get flamed if we have people who listen to this. So
I'm just joking. Anyways, I
But-
have not been up to. Oh wait, sorry, were you not done?
no, I was going to say like that's pretty much been it. I've been reading some comic books here and there, but nothing big.
So yeah, my main thing is still the Minecraft server. I wonder how many weeks we're gonna be saying like the main
We
thing is
have
the Minecraft
passed
server.
the 2 week
Past the
mark.
2 week mark. Yeah. We have made it out of the fabled 2 week Minecraft phase. We're in uncharted territory. So what will happen?
True.
We don't know. I did go back and played about 8 hours of Avengers.
Hats off to you for that. That couldn't have been an easy 8 hours.
No, it was pretty boring, especially like Winter Soldier. I did not know they added him. He has the worst gameplay out of any of them, which he was the last character, so I feel like they probably just like shoved him out the door just because like he was probably like half done, but it was not fun. And I did it for a video, so I mean, I'll plug it. You can go watch it on my channel, that guy Bry. But typically my week, what I'm doing of the week is probably just going to be whatever old game I was replaying for a video. And this week it was Avengers. And other than that, I've just been refreshing the Oblivion subreddit, waiting for like any news, which we did get some news, but But yeah, that's literally like all I've been doing is Minecraft, and that I haven't watched anything other than the movie we're going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's literally it. Not a very interesting week on my part.
Yeah. I don't know. I've just been like I've been busy with school, and then on top of like other things as well. Like I've been devoting a lot of time to the Minecraft server. I'm trying to watch more things, but like I don't know. I always find myself like whenever I finish TV shows, it's like I have this plethora of what to choose from, and I end up being like, yo, this obscure TV show I watched as a kid. Let's watch a couple episodes of that instead of like actually like watching something new.
Yeah,
Like I don't know
I
what the will was, but like before this I watched an episode of Kicking It. Why did I watch Kicking It? I don't know.
sometimes you just turn on that random stuff. But yeah, I haven't watched much anything. I have so many TV shows I need to finish. Luckily, like I just finished Yellow Jackets. Season 3 just finished. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's a pretty good show.
I think you've sent it to me, and it's one of those that I was like, I'll check it out, and then just
Yeah.
haven't checked it out, and that's
Which
on me. So
that might be one of those. I may wait. I may just like maybe don't start yet. Maybe just wait until it's finished, because apparently there might only be one more season. We don't know. But I'm kind of on like a TV lull right now because Andor is going to start up tomorrow. So I wanna at least rewatch the prison stuff from season 1 before season 2. But we'll see how I actually do, because they're going to be dropping 3 episodes a week, and that's
and apparently Andor is fire, like out the gate, which is good. Like we like it when Star Wars
focus
succeeds.
focus
It's
on
not a
Andor.
guarantee. Yeah.
Please listen. I liked Andor. It wasn't my end all be all Star Wars show like for other people. I may get flamed for saying that. I liked it. Did I think it was like the second coming? No.
You know, this is gonna like probably trigger a lot of Star Wars fans, but you know, I will die on this hill. Obi-Wan was a better show. I thought Obi-Wan was better than Andor. I will die on that hill. People are like, why didn't Obi-Wan kill Darth Vader? It's like, you know what? Look at your best friend, okay? Like, even if he became like an awful person, you think you'd just be able to like cut his head off? You think you'd just be able to do that? I don't know if I could. I think it's bold to say that you would. And also, bro clearly has to stay alive by episode 4. So like, I'm sorry. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I can in the Obi-Wan show, anything to do with Darth Vader is better than anything in Andor, I think.
I think so. And like there's an argument to be made. Like I would not dismiss anyone who is like Andor is better. Like I think that like I mean obviously I'm outnumbered here. So like I understand why people think Andor is better. I just like I said, I don't know. The stuff that what didn't have Andor in it didn't hit as hard for me personally.
I had more fun watching Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, me too. 100%.
Yeah, but
I just
that you
I
could
could
get
rant off the
that,
haters.
yeah.
I could rant like we ranted like what was it like 2 or 3 years ago whenever Obi-Wan came out about the people who hated it. I could still rant now. Different episode.
Yeah, my thing with Star Wars, I like pretty much all of it. Like I liked the Acolyte. That might be a hot take. I really liked the Acolyte.
That might be a hot take. That is a hot. I mean, I haven't watched it, so I can't confirm. But
it was
know
flamed so
take.
bad it got canceled.
Like you know, maybe this is gonna make like every Star Wars fan like ever just like never tune into the podcast again. But like I will say, like I know what happens at the end of the Acolyte, and Darth Plagueis shows up, right? No, it's Darth. Yeah, it's Plagueis.
No, Plagueis shows up. Yeah,
I'm getting Sidious's Palpatine. So yeah, Plagueis shows up, which is like to my knowledge what like a lot of people like we've been wanting Plagueis to show up for a while, and then when he does, people are like, oh, they're just bringing Plagueis in to save the show. It's like. I mean, I think they had that set up. It's not like halfway through the show's runtime, they're like, shit, drag and drop, edit, put Plagueis in. Yeah. Like, I don't think that's
people
what happened.
Wanted Plagueis for how long? And
20 years, 20 plus years.
It blows my mind. People were mad about that because I'm like, this is what you wanted. But anyways, that could be a whole other thing.
You know, to save my grace on the subject, though, I will say I have not watched The Acolyte. There's a chance I watch it and also think it's dog shit. So
there is a chance. See, I can see people's problems with it, but I can also, in other ways, be like, this was pretty good in some way. I don't know. I need to rewatch it. I was definitely on the side of I didn't think it was that bad.
That's fair.
Star Wars fans hate everything. That's just how it is. And
See, you know, we're putting our necks out on the line here on our Star Wars hot takes. Okay, that should show that we're honest. Okay, like no one who's trying to get a viewership just by saying whatever people want to hear says these things. So
no, yeah. But I guess moving on to the news, something I'm very excited about. The Oblivion Remake's real. It got confirmed today.
I wish I was getting more hype. I've never played an Elder Scrolls game.
He's never played Elder Scrolls.
I should be. The thing is with Oblivion, I want to play it, right? But like we've talked about this, like me considering streaming. I mean, like the people listening have never seen me play a video game, but Brighton can attest to this. Like, especially whenever it's a new video game for me, I refuse to use a lot of like the tools that the game gives me for like absolutely no reason. So I'm I'm not painful enough to watch. Like I'm good enough at games to where I'm not painful to watch, but like I have a stupid mindset when it comes to games to where it's still like frustrating enough to be interesting. So like that's kind of why I want to stream it. I think people would think it's funny. Like there's like just be these things in the game that I'm just not using. Like what's something in Cyberpunk like I never used? Oh, like
The
it's not
cyberware.
called
You
yeah,
wouldn't have
cyberware.
used cyberware if like Sam would stream the game to me and my friend Hunter, and we were looking at his like loadout. He didn't have any cyberware installed. It's like, dude, you don't have double jump. You don't have like Manus blades. You don't have like gorilla punch. You don't have like quick hacks or anything. He was just playing it like a straight up COD game.
And then what makes it even worse is like I realize swords are in the game, and I'm just and like they were saying like people have just full sword builds, so I'm like screw it, I'm going to use nothing but the sword, and then like I have like Johnny's pistol and everything, and like I'm struggling through part of the level, and Bride's just like, dude, why don't you just like use the Sandevistan or like throw a grenade? I'm just like, no, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we
make
had to
this
tell
harder
him
on
like
myself.
the best thing about a melee build is the Sandevistan because you can just like stop time, and he wouldn't use it. I was like, what are
The
you
only
doing?
thing keeping me from a Dark Souls masochist is the fact that I suck at the game. If I was good at the game, I for sure would be like that person. It's like, dude, you can't use magic. That's cheating.
Yeah. Anyways, looping
But
back
yeah,
to Oblivion.
of course.
So like the past, like we talked about it last week, the leaked images. Then like this past like 2 days, everybody's like, it's coming Monday. Like there was like something in the air, I guess, there's something in the water, and everybody's like, it's coming Monday, and I was like, I didn't want to believe it, and it got closer, and I was like, something's happening, because I think the biggest thing through this whole thing is Xbox and Bethesda have not said a thing. They haven't been like, guys, this isn't real. They've just been radio silent, which I think is the most damning thing. And I also do think now looking back, it's probably intentionally leaked, because who just goes on this random developer's website and just happens to go poking through the files on the day they upload some Oblivion images? Like,
Yeah,
because
I
it's
don't
not
know.
Bethesda doing it. They outsourced it, which is fine, because all they did was give it a new coat of paint through Unreal Engine 5. Apparently, we don't know. But yeah, so today at the rumored time the game was gonna come out, they just posted an image that said like all will be revealed, and it had a time, and then on their YouTube there's like a live stream scheduled, and you can like sit in there waiting, and there was like thousands of people just sitting in there waiting like 24 hours before this thing even starts. So the big rumor is, so like obviously you've never played Bethesda, but Todd Howard, he's very like big figure. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No.
You've probably seen a picture of him. But so whenever they revealed Fallout 4 10 years ago, they revealed it, and then they said in 4 months you can play it, which was kind of insane for like a big AAA game to be like, hey, in 4 months this will be in your hands. Because usually games get revealed and you gotta wait multiple fucking years to even play the thing. And
Yeah.
at that time, he said his dream is to reveal a game and then just say you can go play it. That's like his biggest dream. So the thinking is tomorrow after the reveal, at the end of the trailer, it'll just say like available now or something like that.
That'd be cool.
So if so, this would be the most wild game drop I've ever seen in history. I think. I don't think this has quickly became my most hype game of the year in like 2 days, because it went from not being real to real.
I think it's awesome. Like, Elder Scrolls fans don't really get anything except for, Skyrim remasters. So, like, I mean, at the very least, to get something
Oblivion
else remastered.
remaster. See,
Yeah.
but the thing is, this isn't just a port. It's a, full from the ground remake. So, and also a lot of the Elder Scrolls fans have just only played Skyrim, whereas like Oblivion's like the GOAT. I think everybody has a different GOAT. Some people like Morrowind's the best. Then you get the weirdos that are like Arena and Daggerfall, which I can kind of understand. They're just old games. But so for a lot of people, this is like a whole new Elder Scrolls game. So, and we haven't had a new one in 14 years. So,
and also, like, to my knowledge, Oblivion has been Xbox exclusive, correct?
Oblivion will not be Xbox exclusive, because on the leaked images there was a PlayStation logo.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But like the original Oblivion has been like Xbox exclusive.
No,
or
no,
PC
it was
exclusive.
on PS3. It was on PS3.
Oh, it was? Okay.
It's
then I'm just making stuff up.
It's so you can play it on the Xbox One, because the Xbox One lets you play like 360 games, whereas the PS5 does not let you play PS3 games because
Yeah.
for hardware reasons, I guess for some reason the PS3 they just used a completely different hardware setup to the PS1, 2, and 4 because you can play all those games on PS5. But oh well.
I don't know. PlayStation has the
They need
PlayStation's
to
a mixed
lock in
bag.
like Xbox did because Xbox they literally just you boot up a 360 within your Xbox. Like that's how the backwards compatibility works. So but
Oh
yeah.
well. But I mean, I don't know. That's cool. I will probably give it a try.
I will say if you end up enjoying it, this is all ifs because the game also might just get revealed and they're like it's coming out in June or something. That's completely possible.
Yeah.
So if this game does come out tomorrow and Sam enjoys it, we'll talk about it next week, at least reviews. I will give my thoughts because I will pour so many hours into this over the next week.
Look, I can already see what it'll turn into. And like this is less of a podcast thing, more of like just a friend group thing. What's gonna happen is you're gonna play it, I'm gonna play it. We're both gonna really enjoy it. Hunter's gonna play it. Hunter's one of our friends. And then Matt, who is one of our friends who is notorious for being like, in my opinion, the brain rot gamer, which means like Call of Duty and Fortnite and Minecraft and like those type of games are like only games bro plays. So like he's gonna feel super left out. Why is nobody on the Minecraft server? The boys are on Oblivion. The boys have ascended, okay? That's what's going to happen.
Dude, Oblivion's mad. I'm going to keep going. This is going to be like 30 minutes of me ranting about how much I love Oblivion. Like, they have you can make your own spells in Oblivion. It's so dope. And
Imagine
they
if
get so
Hogwarts
broken.
Legacy would have done that.
They get so broken. Like, you can paralyze somebody and make them invisible to where they're just laying there paralyzed and then nobody sees them because they're invisible. It's so dope. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited to play this game.
I'll make sure to at least stream it to you guys when I'm playing because I know that you will care about that. But
I because there's some things like quest lines will be like, how are you gonna do this? And plus it's his first Bethesda game of Bethesda games. I hope it has that jank even though it's been remade. Everybody's seen clips of like NPCs just doing the most out of pocket shit you've ever seen. They'll kill somebody and they'd be like, oh, somebody's been murdered.
That's one thing. Like, I think it's great because, like, you know, for the most part, whenever you talk about video games and especially like stuff like that, like it mostly only hits hard for like, you know, gamers and stuff who routinely play. But one thing that's funny is at my internship that I had 2 years ago, me and one of my friends that I made there, another intern, was talking about Fallout, and I had never played a Fallout game, but I think they were talking about like he was talking about Fallout 3 and how like that was like such a good game, and like I think what was like New Vegas, I think it was like wasn't as good.
Yeah, New Vegas is the one that everybody no like that must be a hot take because most people think New Vegas is the GOAT and 3 is the one that's not as good.
Okay. Well, anyways, what was funny is as we were talking about this, one of the like full-time workers came by, and he looked like he was probably, you know, like probably around 30 years old. And anyways, he heard us talking about Fallout, and anyways, he was like, "Dude, I love the Fallout games." And he's like, "Well, New Vegas really isn't that good." And he's just like, "Well, what makes like the newer games bad?" And my friend was like, "Well, like all the like NPCs, you know, the people who which he had to explain what an NPC was. He didn't understand what an NPC was. But he's like the, you know, just computer people that like said all the weird things that you could just mess with all the time. Like they took those out and he was like, "What?" He's like, "Messing with those guys was the best part of the game."
I know. Yeah.
And he's just like, "Exactly." So it's like it's cool that even like people who just like casually played the game, you know, and aren't like diehard gamers understand that that's what makes Bethesda Bethesda.
Bethesda is known for the jank NPCs, and also on the because this whole Oblivion thing started like 2 or 3 years ago. Because whenever Xbox was acquiring Activision, they had to release documents or whatever that like showed like projected earnings or something, and on the list for their Bethesda games was an Oblivion remaster, and then there's also a Fallout 3 remaster. So fingers crossed because the Fallout 3 also is in desperate need of a remaster because that game, I love it, but man, it's hard as hell to play nowadays because it is so like the shooting is so stiff and all this stuff because I mean in Fallout 4 they had the Doom guys do the first person so it feels smooth and it's fun, especially on the PS5 version they tuned up the controls. So like that game really needs it. Give it the Doom first person treatment and we'll be good.
I mean, like, I don't know. I guess a lot of things could happen, but like, assuming this Oblivion remake does very well, which I think all signs are saying that it will, I think that's only going to pave the way for like a Fallout 3 remake. But the only problem with that is like if you are an Elder Scrolls fan, it's like, okay, sweet, we're going to get all these remakes. Where's the new Elder Scrolls game?
Bethesda's working on it. They did Starfield, and now they did confirm they're in full production on Elder Scrolls 6 now. Do I expect it before 2028? No, but that's just how it goes.
That's the cost of a good game, unfortunately, nowadays.
Wild to me that we'll have 17 years between, but I haven't replayed Oblivion since I was a kid, so experiencing it like this will be like, it'll be like a whole new game, because I don't remember a lot. Like, I remember the main quest lines, but like exploring the world will still feel new to me, other than being like, I remember this spot. Like, I don't know it like the back of my hand. Like, I prefer it to Skyrim, but I've played Skyrim more just because ease of access. Like, Skyrim's on everything. You can play it on an Amazon Alexa as a text to speech game, where it's like, you see a road in front of you, do you go left or right? And it's you like, it's insane. But they did that for the meme, just because like at that point Skyrim was on everything. Like, they put it on a fridge. It's on a fridge.
Dude, those
one of those smart fridges.
Those fridges are wild, bro.
But yeah, so I'll stop talking about Oblivion, because there's a good chance I'll be talking about it next week. So
yeah. What else do we got here, like, for stuff that came out? Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us getting review bombed again. I don't. The curse of the part 2, the season 2. I swear.
What? Okay. I don't think this is a hot take, because I think this is just storytelling. But like, what makes me so upset, and it always happens with like these big franchises, is we're gonna bring forth a character who is a villain, and we're going to make them do villain-like things. And then we're going to, because they're doing villain-like things, we're going to make you not like the character. And then the audience will respond with not liking the character, but then the audience will be like, yo, we don't like this character. This show's bad. It's like, that's not how it works. If a villain is introduced and you hate this villain, that's a sign of good storytelling, because you're supposed to hate them.
It's like you watch Game of Thrones, but you think you like Joffrey. No, you hate the kid. Like, that's the point.
Yeah. Granted, what I will say, though, I say that, and I think that's more so hate directed at Abby from Last of Us to the game. I will say, I don't think as many people are upset with her character in this show. They're more so just upset that she doesn't look as much like Abby, which, like, I get.
Yeah, well,
like, I would have liked her to hit the gym as well.
They're also upset about Ellie not looking like Ellie, but they forget that, or they just don't care that she can act extremely well. Bella Ramsey nails, like, the first scene you see of her in season 1, whenever she like jumps out at Joel. I was like, okay, it's Ellie. Like, I remember watching it, I was like, they got it. That's
I also just think, like, the whole, like, from episode 1, the Ellie and Dina scene at the party, like, to me, that was just straight, like,
it's Ellie and Dina
side by, like, don't get me wrong, she doesn't look exactly like Ellie, but you could side by side the scenes. The characters feel the exact same, in my opinion. And like I said, like, I will acknowledge the people who do prefer, like, prefer that she would look like the actress, or like Ellie, I should say. And, like, I agree, but I don't think, like, I think nailing the character is more important than nailing, like, one-to-one what the character looks like.
For sure.
And I think she looks close enough to me to where, like, they clearly tried to get someone that looked somewhat like her. Like, they didn't try and, like, get someone to look drastically different. They didn't cast, like, a blonde-headed girl and said live with it. They didn't do that.
Yeah. She's very well cast. I just don't understand the need for a review bomb. Like, season 1, it got perfect scores. Nobody tried to review bomb it, but now it's the curse. Like, this story, I mean, the same thing happened with the game. It got review bombed after it leaked, and now the same thing's happening in the TV show. But I think the real people know it's good. The real people know.
If you look at IMDb, I mean, IMDb knows what's up. Like, the last episode got the highest rated episode of the entire show, I think. So
yeah, I did read that it was sitting at like a 9.5 last I looked, which was the highest rated. Do I think it's my favorite episode of the show? I still think the pilot is my favorite.
Fair.
I think the pilot got it. It did so much in an hour and a half that I was like blown away, and I think everything it did improved upon the game.
Yeah.
So my favorite episode is still the pilot.
And the only problem I have, and I don't want to spoil anything for people who, like, obviously I think there's a lot of people who haven't played the games and are watching the show, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But I do think, and you agreed with this as well, is we know too much about Abby.
Yeah, they're doing
Like,
too much too early, where I feel like a lot of we should know as much as Ellie does at this point.
yeah.
And
Or like, because I have been like, I just started replaying the game, and maybe some more info will be dropped prior to, what just happened in the events of episode 2. But like, as of right now, we just know that she is a character. Like in the game, all we know right now is that she is a character who has it out for somebody in Jackson. We can assume it's Joel. We could assume it has something to do with, the events of Last of Us 1. Like, I think it's fair to say that, but nothing's actually been said.
yeah,
And
you
we
don't
know
know anything
nothing about her
concrete.
past.
There's multiple things you could assume. And like, yeah, you can more than likely you'll put 2 and 2 together, but it's better to not know because it makes the later parts of the game so much better. And I don't know if those parts are going to land as hard if you're not. I'm just worried about season 2 as a whole, or not season 2, because this will go across multiple seasons. Part 2 as a whole is a very particular story, and I think it uses video games very well, like because you're forced to play as these people. You're not just like watching a TV show.
Hmm.
So I think that's very important. So we'll just have to see how they translate it. They did really good with season 1, so I'm
Hmm.
hopeful.
And it's good. Neil Druckmann, the like founder, co-founder, you should say. I think Bruce Straley also was like involved in the creation of The Last of Us. But we have like the Naughty Dog guy, Neil Druckmann, there alongside every single one of the steps that this show takes. So I would think that he cares a lot about the game. So him being there makes me feel good. It's not like a Avatar live action situation where like the writers of The Last Airbender were on board, but then halfway through dipped because they were like, we don't like the directions this show is
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, see,
So,
like, so I'm glad that he has it, but there's also like there's a double-edged sword there, because like sometimes, like, is he just gonna try and like fix things he wasn't happy with, whenever I'm like, maybe you should stay authentic? Because like I think right now there is a case to be made that he's trying too much to go in the opposite direction that the haters had with something. Like there's some things that have been changed from the game for the better, but there's some things I'm like the Abby stuff we were talking about. We don't need to know why. That's not what people were mad about. People were mad just to be mad.
mm-hmm.
The way the thing that happens, we'll talk more about it once the season's over. So
Yeah.
like, but just know that like they are doing a good job of correcting mistakes that the game made, but I think they might be over correcting in places that don't need it.
Yeah. I
But also,
I agree.
you're
Can
adapting the
agree.
game. You don't have to do it 1-to-1. Like they don't have to do the story 1-to-1. I just think the way that part 2 told its story was one of the better parts about the story itself. So I hope they don't sacrifice that. Which apparently the girl who plays Abby, Caitlin Dever, she Variety posted that she's eligible for the guest actor award at the Emmys or whatever. And the only way to be a guest actor is you have to be in less than 50% of the episodes of the season. So
Okay.
there's a hope for me that they're still going to follow the game's like
Yeah.
main
Because,
structure.
like, once again, I don't want to give too much away, but my hope is after this episode, we see zero of Abby until the season finale.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it should be. Keep her out, and that's all. This is all we need of Abby at this point. That's all
Hmm.
you need. So she can show up in the finale, and that'll be it.
Because, and I think if she's nominated for the guest actor, because, like, we have knowledge of the games, you can't do Abby every episode without shit just feeling out of place.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do this story the way the game tells it, and I think splitting it up by season is gonna be good to give people a break, and then because it'll work better than jumping back and forth. I think so.
Hmm.
We'll see. But anyways, moving on from that, Fantastic Four trailer dropped today, or not today, this week. um, I'm more
I told
hyped for the
myself
movie now.
I told myself I was gonna watch it. I don't know what all they revealed other than the fact that Sue is pregnant, which we already kind of assumed that. I don't know. I don't have anything against not watching. Like, I do I want to watch it? Yes, but like also, it's kind of nice going into a movie not knowing every possible thing that has been revealed. It's nice just going in blind. So,
People are mad about female Silver Surfer.
yes, I
Surprise,
saw that.
surprise. I don't care. It's not the silver. Like people think
Yeah.
the Silver Surfer is just like the silver. It's a mantle. Like it's a dude. So this one, it's just a different character. It's not. They didn't gender swap. It's just a different, like,
Mm,
male Silver Surfer could still pop up.
He
But
will
if
at some
not, it's
point.
fine. It's
Too big of a
fine if
IP to
not.
pass up on.
There was a rumor at one point that Ryan Gosling was going to be the Silver Surfer. Do you remember that?
Dude, Ryan Gosling gets like fan casted as a meme at this point, so I don't
It's
know.
he's in everything. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I guess since you haven't talked about it, all I know, I like how the trailer starts out. It starts out very happy and chipper, kind of like how the teaser was, and then it gets super somber and dark because of like, oh shit, Galactus is coming.
Mm.
And we also get to see Mr. Fantastic actually stretch, and it doesn't look like complete dog shit. So we're good there.
Let's go.
Because
I mean,
that's
like,
the problem with stretching.
yeah. I mean, if the Netflix live action One Piece can do it and it not look bad, like, I would hope Marvel could do it and that not look bad.
I just don't understand still to this day why they changed Ms. Marvel's powers to be like glowing crystals and stuff. That's a whole
Whatever.
other thing. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, everybody is nailing the vibe in the Fantastic Four. They just need to stick with what they're doing. I like setting it in a separate universe. It's a clean reset, but they'll still end up in the main universe. But I think it's good because a big part about the Fantastic Four is they're like the first heroes and they become celebrities. So that just wouldn't work in the current MCU because it's been so long. So it's a very important, and also the 60s aesthetic is awesome.
And you won't have the current Daredevil problem of, either A, where have the Fantastic Four been, or B, when Galactus comes, why is the Avengers not here?
Yeah.
So you won't have that problem in another universe.
So like whenever you're dealing with that sort of threat that the Fantastic Four would deal with, it's like, where are the Avengers? And plus it almost gives it more like a classic Marvel movie vibe where like it feels like just you can watch this one and you're fine. So
yeah, you don't have to watch a million other movies to
and then
to understand what's going on.
And then I guess following last week, they did confirm Daredevil season 2 will premiere next March, so they are going to be trying to stick for the foreseeable future to a yearly release, which I think is good, especially because last season ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I think it's good that they're doing it next season, which I mean, like we already saw with like leaked set photos that they were filming, so that's good that they it's good that they announced it. It's good that they're doing yearly. I think TV shows in general are starting to realize that, hey, maybe waiting 10 years between each season is not a great way to go about things. Maybe we should cut budget a little bit, or like cut time, or whatever they're cutting. To
by the time a TV show comes back, I've lost interest.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Invincible was like the worst case scenario, I think, because I don't know, the animation did not justify.
And then taking a break mid-season, like that's just
that
insane.
Was the word. It's better to watch it that way. I'm just like, okay, you tell me when the comic books were coming out that they just like, Robert Kirkman was just like, all right, I'm not gonna write for the next 6 months because it's better for the audience to experience it after this break. It's like, no. And you know what? Maybe it did happen. I don't know. I wasn't there in 2003, or whatever year it
Invincible ran from like 2003 to like 2020 or something. So
I don't know. But
yeah,
let's go.
That is
Daredevil next year.
That is the more generic news over. Now, Star Wars Celebration did happen this past weekend. Some interesting news. Not the most like exciting stuff, I would say, out of a Star Wars Celebration, but the thing was Star Wars, they just announce shit, and then it's kind of like a coin toss if you're actually gonna get whatever they announce. They've announced like 50 movies now at this point that haven't been released, so like take any of this with a grain of salt, unless it has like Dave Filoni attached to it. That it seems to be like the only guy at Lucasfilm who actually gets shit done.
Right, and he pumps out good stuff. So
you can at least trust Dave Filoni. But yeah, so a Ryan Gosling Star Wars movie was announced. Star Wars Starfighter. All we know is it's directed by Sean Levy, who is known for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Nice.
Just, a good movie. And Free Guy. So he's like the Ryan Reynolds guy.
Well, he's swapping for a different Ryan now, though.
Yeah, so now he's just going to Ryan Gosling. The only problem I have with this is I find his movies to look generic, like visually. They feel visually bland.
I can understand that. Like, I kind of understand what you're getting at. Like, I'd never like thought anything bad like as I was watching Free Guy or Deadpool and Wolverine, but I can kind of see it now.
Yeah, I don't want to shit on his movies because I like his movies. They just don't have like, there's not a sauce there. I think like,
and you need sauce with Star Wars.
It's pretty vanilla is what I'm trying to. It feels plain, but maybe we just need a new Star Wars movie, I think, at this point. Like, so I guess I'll
Was
take
Rise
it.
of Skywalker the last one?
Yes, that was the last movie.
Yeah, because Snyder was gonna do one, but then they said
Then
no.
it turned into Rebel Moon, and then Rebel Moon was so bad. And then he's like,
just wait till
wait for the extended cut, and then it's worse because it's just longer.
Yeah, I don't. It's whatever.
So like, listen, I'll defend his DC movies, but the Rebel Moon was bad. It was so bad. But anyways, but yeah. So, and it's set. This one's set after Episode 9. It's like 5 years after Episode 9. So I think it's good. Get out of the in between Episode 3 and 4, please.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if they did announce more stuff in between Episodes 3 and 4 that we'll get to. But yeah, I think moving into uncharted territory is better. That's why I liked the Acolyte so much. It was fresh.
Mm-hmm.
It was something different. I'm tired of the in between 6 and 7 and in between 3 and 4. I want to go either before the trilogies or after the trilogies. I want to be somewhere that we don't know what it looks like, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, the whole Ryan Gosling casting, Ryan Gosling's very interesting, right? Because, like, the way Ryan Gosling is perceived on the internet, you would think that he is a Jack Black type character, where whenever he gets casted, it's like this movie has a good chance of being dog shit because of the memes. But it's actually quite the opposite. Like,
he's
Ryan
such
Gosling's
a good actor
in a movie, like,
it's usually
yes,
really
it's a
good.
meme, but like he makes good movies. Like Barbie was good, Blade Runner was good.
Driver.
What else was he in?
The
Drive
La La
was supposed
Land.
to be good. La La Land was good.
Yeah.
You know,
so
like you could go back
in a
20
lot of
years
good
ago
movies.
and say, the Notebook.
The Notebook's a good movie, even so. Like, yeah, so, it's not like it's not a Jack Black level casting. People just meme it because like he gets memed a lot. Like people are like, dude, Ryan Gosling for Black Panther, like all this other stuff. So like, there's just, I think people get lost in the fact like he is a good actor. Like Blade Runner 2049 is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
I also glazed Denis Villeneuve, so
yeah. So I trust. I'm hoping it's like a Top Gun sort of movie. Starfighter leans me to that. I hope they like film it the same, put him in the cockpit, throw him into space. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I was gonna say, like, dude, do you think they go to space?
Like, put him in an actual X-wing.
Dude, Tom Cruise would find a way to go to space.
Tom Cruise will be the first one to film a movie in space. He has said that before. I think he's just waiting for the movie.
Mission Impossible, dude. That's what's so good about Mission Impossible. He could go to space, and it wouldn't even be like that crazy. It would be like, okay, Ethan Hunt's
just doing it, yeah. But also, like, they will, if they would have, because if they ever go to space in a Mission Impossible movie, Tom Cruise ain't gonna want to do none of this green screen shit.
No,
he's gonna want to go to space.
Space.
So like, there's no way they would be able to hide that from like any of the making of the movie, unless like we go to watch Mission Impossible in a month and it's like he goes to space and then we read online that like that's actual, like he was in
NASA
space.
was in on it. We covered it up.
Like, yeah.
Dude, the only thing is like, I mean, I don't know, like Katy Perry just went to like the moon or something, didn't she?
Apparently. No, she just went to space for 11 minutes, but this isn't really what we talk about, but I'll do a little thing. So like they filmed this thing. Jeff Bezos is at the capsule that landed. Okay. And he has this like crowbar. It's a special tool that opens the hatch, and like the camera is like zoomed out and the door opens from inside and a worker goes over and like the door closes again. And then like 5 minutes later, Jeff Bezos goes over there and like pops it open and it looks like it's a plastic door. And now people are like, I don't know if they even went to space. Like, and I'm like, this is a very possible scenario where they just like faked this whole thing, because you have to look up this clip because it looks so fake. And then like Katy Perry gets out and kisses the ground. Everybody's making fun of her for it. Like Paramount posted the other day, I was scrolling on TikTok. Paramount posted like Katy Perry after being in space for 11 minutes. It's interstellar. He's like, we don't belong here anymore. And all this. Everybody's making fun of her. It's hilarious.
No, but the point is, I don't know how we got on this subject from Ryan Gosling, but go to space. We'll go
back to Star. I don't know if you guys noticed me and Sam, we get sidetracked very easily. Luckily, we have all this shit wrote down, so that
we have anchor points in the timeline.
We have to just. It might not be very smooth, but we force it back.
But yeah. I'm excited. It's new Star Wars stuff. You know, that can be good. It can be bad. Ryan Gosling gives me hope. I feel like he's going to give that Ryan Gosling energy that we need for it to be good.
Real actor. But also, like, part of Star Wars charm is you find people who haven't really been in a movie before.
That's fair, but we need to bring Star Wars back to
So
being
yeah,
good. So
yeah.
especially if it's the
Just
first new movie in
just get a
6
movie.
years.
No, but
Or no,
the
it's going to be more
first
than 6 years,
yeah,
but
but the first actual new movie still I'll believe it when I see it is The Mandalorian next year, the movie.
oh yeah.
So that comes out next May. They showed a teaser. They didn't post it online, but they showed a teaser. So the most interesting thing I took from it is Jeremy Allen White, who you might know from The Bear.
I
He
do.
is playing Rada the Hutt, Jabba the Hutt's son, and
Didn't
he is
okay.
like a super buff like Hutt, and he's a gladiator. So that was the most interesting thing for me. I think like looking at the leaked photos was just this like super buff Jabba, and it's Jeremy Allen White, which I think is like the most random casting ever. I think on
I
it,
would
it
say
might be a waste of him because I Jeremy Allen White's becoming like one of my favorite actors, so
mhm.
we'll just have to see. And then they showed some other things like some AT-ATs in the snow and stuff. We'll just have to see. We know nothing, next to nothing about what the plot of this movie is. So
Yeah, I don't know. I could see it being good. I could see it being awful. Mandalorian, I have no clue where they're wanting to go with the storyline. So,
you
but
know,
Jeremy Allen White's a good actor. So, like,
I
hope.
wanna flex here. I'll share a Star Wars Celebration story of mine because this was the first one since 2017 that I haven't been to because it was in Tokyo and that's just like a little too far for me. But I was actually one of the first people to ever see footage of The Mandalorian because me and my dad went. We went to the Mandalorian panel and like Pedro Pascal was there, John Favreau, and at the end they showed us 10 minutes of the first episode. So like we were one of the first people to ever see Mandalorian. So that's pretty dope. But yeah, I did not really enjoy season 3. Just to kind of sour on that note.
Bro's just like, I understand you said that you didn't know where the Mandalorian was going, but I feel like the viewers need to know that I was one of the first people to watch it.
I'll flex. That's why we're sharing
Like,
Star Wars Celebration
related
stories.
but unrelated.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I thought about that this week. Me and my dad were talking. It's like, we were actually like one of the first people that were like watch a clip of this. They showed us. It was the scene where he takes Baby Yoda. We didn't know it was Baby Yoda at the time, or no, he was accepting the contract from that one dude, and the stormtroopers came out, and then he like
Mhm.
got into a fight or whatever, and everybody was like, this is like, let's go. It like feels real, and like, dude, those times whenever season 1 and 2 of Mandalorian was coming out was like, oh, that was so good. And then like around that time was season 7 of Clone Wars. That was like some of the best Star Wars TV like era ever.
And then Star Wars Episode 9 comes in and just brings
And
it all
kills
home.
everything. Yeah, kills it all, dude. Oh, dude.
I
Nobody
love
will
and hate Star
understand
Wars.
my level of hatred for episode 9. I feel like a hypocrite because I say like Star Wars fans hate everything, and then anytime episode 9 gets brought up, I'm like, that is the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And it is on my I'm gonna go check my letterbox. If it doesn't have a half star, then I must be a fraud.
I just remember the first time watching it, I sent the text, just finished episode 9. The text I received back was just like a video essay,
I don't
just
think
like
I
explaining every
realized like
problem you had with it.
it was at that moment. I didn't think like before that moment. I didn't think I hated the movie. I just didn't think I was like it's not for me. But then when you said that and I started like just typing like my issues with it, I think I typed probably like I could release it as a novel, just like
It
my
was
why I
long.
hate. Yeah. So like that was like whenever I'm like, yeah, I actually kind of hate this movie. To be honest, I'm not a big fan at all of Rise of Skywalker. My thing is, I'm a defender of Episode 8. There's some things in it I don't like. There's things in it I really like, which is fine. But if you just need to roll with the punches, if there's things people like and don't like, so who gives a shit? You have a story, stick with it because Episode 9 just completely undoes anything Episode 8 does. And I think Episode 8 would be looked on more fondly if Episode 9 actually followed through with some shit. But
I,
that's
I
another tangent.
always, yeah, like just to like,
Cap
here we
me
are. We're
before
trying
I
to bring
go.
back, and
Yeah.
I wanted to say one more thing. One thing I'll say about Episode 9, and this will be it. We'll come back. Is I compare the Star Wars sequel trilogy to the new Harry Potter trilogy. Gosh, what's the first one called? Fantastic Beasts trilogy.
Yeah.
In the fact that like I think like I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. If they're not as good as the OG movies, I think much like Episode 7, the first one's likable. You like where they're going. May not be the greatest thing in the world, but it's good. Then you watch the next one, it's like this was a step in the wrong direction. The difference is the crap. What's the last one called? Secrets of Dumbledore, I
Yeah.
think.
Yep.
It rolled with the punches of 7 and 8 and finished out what they were trying to do. And I think, despite some problems, did a good job. And I look upon that trilogy more fondly because of it. Whereas Star Wars, just like, it sucked. It
there's
went
no way
against a lot
around
of
it. The
things.
sequel trilogy just sucked. Yeah,
So
because
now it doesn't
I
look
think
as good.
7 and 8 are good movies, but it is the whole trilogy's let down by a terrible finale. Because it's like the prequel trilogy. 1 and 2 are not good movies, but 3 is so good it makes up for it because it closes the book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it rolled with George Lucas didn't change shit. He just kept making what he was gonna make, and it worked out in the end. And that's what they should have done.
Yeah, I agree. To bring us back, there is some more stuff. I mean, heck, we've only like barely touched the surface. Apparently, an anime show,
Yeah,
which they've done
so
before.
one of the Star Wars Visions, the Ninth Jedi, is getting a full spin-off show. So it's not going to be like the anthology. They're going to continue this. So where the Ninth Jedi, I don't know if you've seen it. It's probably the best one. I only watch a few of them if they like looked interesting to me. But this one will be getting a full spin-off. So it's going to be a full narrative-driven anime show for Star Wars, because typically they just do Visions where they just get a bunch of different studios and then they make like just oneers basically. But from the ones I saw, I do think the Ninth Jedi was probably the best. I would say it was kind of like I don't know really how to explain it. It's been so long since I watched
I
it,
haven't watched it at all.
but yeah.
Like,
But
I
I would say of one of the episodes, you should watch that one. And then in the new Visions season 3, some of the episodes are going to be getting sequels, so they're going to do like follow-up episodes. So I recommend, if there's a studio in there that you like, watch their episode because it's probably good.
That's fair. And there's some people who like when they see anime get way more hype than what they would if they just saw like regular anime, like Western, I guess, animation. So good for those people. I don't know. I'll give it a try if it's good. And I like to try. I've been slacking. I like to, whenever a new Star Wars comes out, Star Wars whatever, I like to at least give it a try. I've been slacking recently with like the Acolyte and Andor, and then Bad Batch just kind of in its entirety. But
Skeleton Crew. Star Wars does a
Skeleton Crew.
lot of TV. They feel like Star Trek, where it's like no movies come out, but like you'll blink and there's like 20 new seasons of TV. And then Dave Filoni announced another new animated show in the style of like Bad Batch and Clone Wars. It's going to be Darth Maul, set in between Clone Wars and Rebels. So
of course,
that's all we really know, but bro is an op of both the Jedi and the Sith at this time, so it'll be interesting. And I think he's one of the more interesting characters, I guess, to explore. But I'm also like, I'm kind of tired of this era. Like, I like the Filoni animated shows. I think they're my favorites of the things. But like, I want to move. Give me something in the sequel trilogy animated like this. Like, do what you did for the prequels for the sequels. You know what I'm saying?
Make them better.
Make them better. Make people forget that those movies were bad because the Clone Wars is so good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It does feel like we are just like refusing to come up with original ideas. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying like it's gonna be bad. I'm not saying it's not gonna be original, but the fact that we're doing like Darth Maul, which is a character we've already gotten a lot of, and
We've
not only
gotten
that,
his
but it's
full
set.
story. We've got his full story. We know how it begins and ends. Now, like, yeah, you can improve the middle. Like, we know how Cassian Andor's story ends, but like, it's nice to see where it comes from. But like, Darth Maul has had a full character arc through episode 1, Clone Wars and Rebels. He had a full thing. What more could we get? I might eat my words. This might be the best animated show they made yet, but like, it just feels like that. It feels like a cash grab almost.
Yeah, and I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Because like, isn't bro just like insane at the bottom of that like trash planet
Well,
or
no,
whatever?
we
Like,
don't know how he ended up there. So this show will show what happens after his escape from, like, he was like on the ship with Ahsoka at the end of Clone Wars, and this will kind of like lead us through to where he gets to in Rebels, I guess. That's my understanding. So like, there is a story to tell there, but is it worth the effort whenever we could tell maybe an original story? But I also could be wrong. This could be the best one ever. We don't know until we see it.
So, and other things you have here, Ahsoka season 2.
Yeah, begins filming this week. The guy who played the Hound from Game of Thrones is going to be in it.
Oh,
he's replacing I think his name was Balin Skull. He was played by Ray Stevenson. Sadly, he passed away right before Ahsoka came out. So he's just playing that guy's character, who was the standout character, I think, for most people of Ahsoka. You haven't seen it yet.
Yes, and oh my god, it's just more Star Wars hot takes. And I don't know, maybe this isn't a hot take. Do I need to watch Ahsoka? Yes, like 100%. I would agree. That's on the table. But what I will say, what I watched episode 1, and what drove me away from watching any more is the fact that Sabine, is that her name?
Yeah.
Sabine, because I get her and Satine mixed up. Is the fact that Sabine is now like officially like force sensitive and has been like kind of been training in the force with Ahsoka. We don't, by personal opinions, we don't need to give everybody force powers. Like, I think it was cool. Like, to me, it's not like you give her force powers and she's cool, you know? It's like her character was cool as is, and it just feels like we're tacking on force powers to people.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it felt like to me. And, you know, like you said, you're like, yeah, but it's hinted at in Rebels, like a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like, I was perfectly fine with her not having them, and it just, like I said, it feels like it's just tacked on as like an excuse to try and make the character cooler, and I don't think that's what made her character cool.
But you should
Personally,
finish it.
I agree, because I heard the villains in that show are like amazing.
Yeah, that was the best part, was the Balin Skull character. He was the standout for me in terms of that show. I mean, there was some episodes, a lot of like, I can agree with the complaints of that show. It kind of feels like a greatest hits, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy most Star Wars things. It's just
That's
some
fair.
more than others.
We are,
So,
you know, dare I say, I consider we are lenient on shows, because
yeah.
like I think we kind of just watch a show for the most part and just like, yo, did we have a good time in the past hour? And if it's a yes,
Yeah.
then it's like, yo, good episode.
Was Ahsoka the best TV I've seen? No, but it was good TV. It was fine. I didn't waste my time. Did it ever get to the heights of Rebels? I don't think so. But
No.
give it time.
Well, me saying no, I haven't watched it.
Rebels is just like
if it does, that's awesome.
Yeah, Rebels
is my favorite Star Wars.
Yeah,
stuff.
I guess that almost rounds out the Star Wars news. So I guess we can get to the meat of the episode.
Yes, 1
the
hour
movie
in.
that came out of nowhere. I had been like watching for this movie just because like Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, but like I was not expecting this. This movie is the highest grossing IMAX opening for a horror movie this decade, or actually ever. And then it's the biggest opening this decade for an original movie. It opened to $61 million domestically, which is insane.
I have like no clue why. Like,
what made this movie different?
Like, I'm not like, is Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld popular like actors and directors? Or yeah, I mean, yes, but like Ryan Coogler's big hits have been the Black Panther movies, like the ones that have made the most money, and that's because they're tied to the Marvel movies. And like even like Creed, like it's tied to a franchise.
Now think about this. Sam. Word of mouth helps a movie out tremendously. Think about why we went to go see it. We went to go see it purely because we heard it was really good. And I think that helps a movie out more than anything. And I think this movie had the biggest blow up I've ever seen on social media for like an original movie. Everybody I saw was like, you have to go see this movie. And I would agree. True. This is, if you want to see more original movies, not just Marvel, Star Wars, and DC forever, you got to go see movies like this, because that's the only way we're going to get them, because this movie is really fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, my personal experience with the movie is, you know, I watched the trailer, like, just, you know, in the movie theater, because, you know, that's what they play before the movies. And I saw it, and I saw Michael B. Jordan. I was like, oh, I like Michael B. Jordan. I saw Haley Steinfeld. I was like, yo, she's pretty easy on the eyes. And then I saw vampires and weird stuff, and I was just like, I feel like they're doing way too much with this movie, so I don't think I'll watch it. And then Brighton texts me, and he's just like, yo, this movie's apparently like one of the most goated movies of all time. And I was like, I guess we have to see it then. Like, it felt like a little bit of that like Dune 2 stuff, where it was like, it's better. Like, honestly, the surprise was better, because like Dune 2 we expected it to be good, and then people were like, this is one of the best movies of all time, and we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was going to be this good. Whereas this movie, it was like, I wasn't going to go out of my way to see it, but then like people are like, oh my gosh, this movie is goated, and we're like, I guess we'll go see it then.
And we will do no spoilers and spoilers, but I don't know what to say, because what I want to talk about in this movie, I wouldn't have liked to known beforehand.
True.
So
I guess
most I can really say about it is that it's just fun. like you don't really get movies like this anymore where it's completely original. You get these characters that you're introduced to very quickly and you grow to like them very quickly and you just have a fun time for 2 hours. And I think it's one of the better horror movies I've seen in the way we'll get to it in spoilers, but the way it presents its characters and makes you care for them is any horror film in the future should look back to this movie, I think.
Yeah, the biggest things I can say about this movie, and this is not spoilers, is one is obviously the storytelling. I'm not going to sit here and say that like I obviously am a movie enjoyer, but I've not seen everything and I'm only 23 years old. So like clearly not a lot of, time spent in the movie field. But, most of the time when you watch a movie, you see a lot of like I guess unoriginalities, meaning like you've seen this before, even though this one is slightly different, like you've seen it before. This movie is, for me at least, I thought was like completely original. Like where Ryan Coogler or whoever wrote this movie pulled this story like out of their ass, I have no clue. But the fact that it did feel like
Commend
completely
him. Yeah, it
new
is just
was awesome.
perfect. Yeah.
Second thing, and this was something that like I was just like talking to Brighton about like very subtly. I don't talk during the movie, but like, occasional whispers during the movie, was the music. One of the best, like for a non-musical movie especially, like some of the best like soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks I've ever seen in a movie.
You could
Like
argue this movie teeters the line of musical because there is quite a lot of like the characters do sing quite a lot in the movie and it's used to such a extent. And like one of the best scenes in the movie is to completely do with music. And also, I just learned this. One of the main kids, the kid who plays the guitar,
yep.
that's his first time acting. Yeah.
Dude, get this dude an award.
he
like
this movie better be up for some Oscars at least best director for
yeah,
sure.
because I mean, I will say, like, that kid, did he need to do anything like super groundbreaking acting wise? Not really. Like, I think mostly he's on screen for his musical ability, which is fair. Like, bro is goated at, like, I'm assuming that's him singing. I don't know why it wouldn't
It
be him
is. Yeah,
singing.
he's a musician.
And if
So
he's playing the guitar too, like I told Brighton, I was just like, dude, me going on Spotify immediately after this and looking up 30s blues music, like,
that kid, like, excellent acting because he makes you care so much for this character. And this is your, like you said, this is like, it's not a franchise movie, it's nothing, it's just, this is a completely original. And then Michael B. Jordan, they were doing some Lord of the Rings type shit in this movie because if you don't know, Michael B. Jordan plays twins, so he's two separate characters. And also they do a really good job. You're never like, oh, which one is this? They have,
one's the red character, one's the blue
yeah,
character.
they do wear different colored ties, but they also do act different, like subtly, to where like who's who. Because like one of them is more reserved, one of them is more hot headed. It sounds a little bit more generic than that. It's not. But what was I talking about? Talking about Michael B. The CGI. Okay, so yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot of the times in movies whenever they do like a person playing two characters, you can pick out either it's a CGI head replacement or they're just splitting the scene down the middle digitally or whatever. This movie, they're like handing shit back and forth to each other. Like they'll be smoking a cigarette and he takes it out of his mouth and gives it to the other Michael B. Jordan and he smokes it. And like the camera's not still, if the camera's moving. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm trying to like figure out, like where did they do this? Like what's CGI? I don't know, blown away by the visual effects in this movie, which I do think helps that he's done Marvel stuff before.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the movie was just insane. Haley Steinfeld's performance also really good. I could tell she channeled some of that, true grit energy, like one of the first movies she was ever in, just like with the way she talked.
And
But
fun fact, her character in the movie, this isn't a spoiler, her character in the movie is 1/8 black. I learned today that Haley Steinfeld is also 1/8 black.
yo, that's the reason they got her. They knew that in her background.
I actually think that might be the reason they got her. But yeah, everybody in this movie, excellent performances all around. There's a harmonica player. He is like one of the goats. I don't know, like anybody in this movie, I'm like they're the goat, except for one character we'll talk about in spoilers. But yeah, the villain really, really good. I mean, you get. We'll talk. I don't know what to say. I can't say what I want to say without doing spoilers.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like with this I guess we could do like I don't know, like you could do a summary. I mean, I don't know, because I agree with you. Maybe we just suck at giving non-spoiler reviews. Like if
it's
you
good.
didn't,
That's
if you didn't catch it, like what the story is I'm sure it says something in the trailer, but essentially like what the story is about is there's these two twin brothers, and they are, coming back from Chicago after some, let's just say sketchy business dealings that have acquired them with a decent amount of money. And they are just wanting to open up a, I guess, black dominated club because, we're in the 30s and they have to have their own club because white
Yeah.
people won't allow them in. And anyways, and to do that they get like some musicians, typical like club stuff. And we realize that the power of music can be great, but it also in this movie can have a very dark side.
Which like
And it goes
I
from
don't
there.
know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure this is based on like Mississippi folklore from the time. So I think
Could be.
I mean everybody's seen it, like Footloose. Everybody's like music's the devil. Like I think that it like they think it attracts like a bad part out of you. So I think that's a part of like it can bring good out, but it can also bring bad out. And I think this movie plays to that.
And, this once again isn't a spoiler, it's just themes of the movie. The fact that they turned that into a movie about freedom, like they're talking about freedom and like it's obviously like you'd think like you hear that knowing the time period and that like obviously the main characters are pretty much aside from Haley Steinfeld all black. You'd think the freedom has something to do with like racism. This movie has nothing to do with race other than the
No.
fact of like maybe black history. That's it. There's no racism really. Like there is subtle ones just because we're of the time, like we have to show it
There
occasionally.
is, but we'll talk again more in spoilers. Like this movie also does a really good job of the plot is so well constructed that the second you start to think about an open plot thread from before, he immediately does something with it. There's multiple times in
Hmm.
this movie where I was like, hey, whatever happened, and then it would just happen. The plot was perfectly laid out, and it's like he just knew what you would be thinking the entire time.
Yeah. I just some like I mean I don't know if there was more you wanted to say, but I was going to give some like closing thoughts before we go
No,
into this.
anything I want to say, thumbs up from me. Sinners is the so far the best movie of the year.
Yes, I agree. It's my movie of the year. I think it beats Mickey 17, which is also a good movie. So go check that
It
movie out
sets
if you
it.
can.
This movie sets a high bar for the rest of the year that will be
Mhm.
hard because right now I'm riding on Superman to top this, but it's like, I don't. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Uh
hard.
yeah, I completely agree. It's a great movie. Definitely go ahead and watch it. And just like a warning for the people who are watching it, I think if you're listening to this, like this is pretty like niche in the movie community to where like you guys probably all enjoy just film in general. So you probably don't do this, but just in case you're one of those people that once you see credits, you get up and like leave the movie theater, don't do that.
Don't
Watch
leave.
until watch until the rolling credits, because if you're like me and Brighton, you're gonna feel very dissatisfied if you don't see that. Like, I guess it's a mid-credit scene, but I would consider it more to
It's
be like
the
part of the
true
movie.
ending of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the movie like ended. I was like, okay. And then the last scene really ties it all together. And apparently there was a post-credit scene. It wasn't really important. It was more just I think a music thing, but that we did miss because but oh well. So just stay until the credits are over. Don't make the mistakes me and Sam did, but definitely don't stay until you see the mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
Or definitely don't leave. Don't
Yeah.
but
Stay,
yeah.
watch it, and like you'll see, like
Stay and
if any,
watch. Yeah.
I most of the time stay for the cinematic credits at least when I watch movies, and this feels like it's part of the cinematic credits. So like you guys, I think you'll get the vibe that it would feel weird if you left before then anyways. Like I
Yeah.
think the movie does a good job at like letting you know, hey, the movie's not actually over yet.
And
But
also like I do think unless you like speed out of the theater, like it doesn't go full credits. It's still cutting between the credits and the movie. So like there were some people in ours about to leave and they're walking out and the movie it cuts back to the movie from the credits. And then it would like show something, it would cut back to the credits and it would cut back to the movie. So like I do think there's like you a lot of people won't miss it because he doesn't like let the credits run too long before cutting back to the movie. But some people I've heard in theaters do like just get out and leave. And I texted my sister, she's going to see it tomorrow. I'm like, do not leave until you see at least the mid credits. But
mhm.
and I have no idea what the post credits is. I missed it. Didn't know there was one.
Hopefully
So
it's
don't make
not.
our
I mean, like I
mistakes.
already thought the
I don't
movie
think it
was
was that
goated,
important.
so like
It got wrapped up perfectly, so I'm not dissatisfied. But yeah, best movie 2025 so far. That's what I say. So I guess we'll move on to
yes.
spoilers. First thing I do want to talk about is the I'm already, dude. There's so like my mind's just running through
I know.
just
So
all
you
the
were
different.
like really wanting to say some stuff, so I'm gonna let you
You
cook
you
here a little
you
bit.
no, you go, you go.
Okay, I'll
It'll
let you.
come
I'll
to me
give you
what I
time to
wanted to
think.
say. Yeah,
So, what surprised me the most about it is, like I said, I said this in the non-spoiler, was the fact that I thought the movie was going to try and do too much. Like, I felt like throwing vampires on top of what already seemed like it could have been a fine movie on itself, with two brothers trying to start a business in, a world that is very anti-black people, at least in an America that is. I forgot that could have been a good movie by itself, and like for what it does,
for it
it,
was for what
yeah,
for yeah it was until
yeah.
like, and
But
then it just got better.
I thought just like throwing vampires on top of it was just very like, extra. It was just like, why? But when you watch the movie, and you see the end, you see the story that they were trying to tell. It was the fact that like it's not about these people just trying to like get their own business and stuff. Like it is and it isn't. Like the point of the movie is not like people struggling in, racist America. What it's about is these two are really just people in general. The three main characters being, Michael B. Jordan's twins and the
Michael C. Jordan,
yes, and
Michael
the
C. That's what we'll call him.
and the kid, how they're just trying to realize their dreams. And the vampires come in as a way to deter them from reaching their dreams. And then by the end of the movie, we see, Michael B. Jordan's character getting to not fulfill his. And you get to see the kid, he does fulfill his. And, one is on account of, yeah, Michael B. Jordan turns into a vampire and the kid does not, but you get to see how, despite them trying to show you earlier in the movie that the vampires are more free and that's why you should become one, you see that it's quite the opposite. The vampires are the ones who didn't get to live the free life.
Yeah, like
It's the
even
kid who got to
though
choose
he, yeah,
his own dream and doing it, like, I guess you could say the right way, like with taking the non-easy way out,
take the time,
granted him more
yeah,
freedom.
because like even though Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld's characters, they have forever, they still, you can tell from that scene they just have like an emptiness to them, whereas he's like, they say like he doesn't have much time left, but he's had a fulfilled life and he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
want the immortality, because what point would there be,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the
And
touring, it's not all that, he just wanted to make music and he did, and he had
what I,
a satisfying life.
Yeah. And what I loved about that last scene so much was the duality of it, in the fact that both of them agreed that that was their, the best moment of their life. That night was like by far their best night ever. And it's cool because it's for completely opposite reasons. For Michael B. Jordan's character, it was because it was the last night he felt truly free and was doing something he loved to
Last
do.
time he saw his brother, last time he saw the sun. So
Mm-hmm. And then I feel bad. I really should like look up the character's name. I keep
Sammy,
saying the
you should
kid.
know this. It's Sam.
Dude, oh my gosh. It's me. I'm actually the character in the movie. No. Sammy. What's great about Sammy's character is that, or that moment, is that it was his first time that he felt truly free and he realized what he wanted to do with the rest of his life and that he could pursue that. And I don't know, I think it's cool that you can tell that story and like these characters have the opposite,
Yeah.
like that moment is where they split. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like that's the day he realized what he wanted to do with his life, and Michael B. Jordan, it was like that's what he wants out of his life, but he can't get it anymore because of things he did and mistakes he made and all that. But yeah, and then the villain, he also has a very like sympathetic thing to him. He does, while he does seem sinister, he does just want fellowship and people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same way for him. He doesn't he's tired of people like forcing their way of life upon them or upon him, but he does the same thing. He forces people to be vampires, and that's just, it's like a cycle. Like you can't force somebody to do something. I think it's just like you just have to find community within a group of people. So
Mm-hmm. Because like you even see him, he's just like, by the way, that dude that sold you this, the only reason he sold it to you was so that he can come in here with a bunch of his other friends and kill all of you tomorrow. He's like, you guys are living in this world, like, and this is where racism does have a part to play in this. He's like, you're living in this world, people treat you like crap, you have to work 10 times harder than the average white guy in order to actually like get something for yourself. If you come with us, you'll be free forever and we're all equal. We'll all, because I guess also whenever they, become vampires, there's a little bit of the hive mind factor where like you
yeah,
can
they
fully
gain all the
understand.
memories. Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's, and you see like even like as you're watching the movie, you're like, damn, like this does seem like a solid play. And especially when you're watching the movie, you don't know the story that he's trying to tell. So you're like, maybe by the end of this, they'll all be vampires and realize that that's the way of life. But
But it's also like
it's
he could be
cool because you
lying.
become sympathetic before the
Yeah.
villain. Exactly.
But then at the end of the movie, we learn he's not, because the KKK do come, and Michael B. Jordan kills every single one of them.
Hmm.
I was so scared he was gonna let the main dude live. Like he was on his deathbed looking at his baby, and he just picks up the Tommy gun and just starts blasting him. I love that scene. It was really
Hmm.
cathartic.
Like, it feels good when you can walk out of a movie. Like, for me, it just felt like one of those stories that if someone were to just tell it to you, not only do you like learn a life lesson from it, but you also are just like, damn, dude, that was a good story. That's what it felt like whenever I walked out of this movie. It was just like, it's why you like movie. In my opinion, it's like why you like movies in the first
This
place.
is
You
why
sit
we
down
go
to
to the
these.
movies. Yeah.
Yes, it's to sit down and to witness a good story. It's why you read a book, it's why you watch a TV show, it's why you watch a movie, and you get that here. Like at its core, that's what this is a really good story. And like it's also great because you can learn something from it. It's like, the easy way out isn't always the best way. The hard
And
work does pay off.
for the first hour and a half, it is just a feel good movie. Like it is just these people getting the band back together, and
Hmm.
they're just having a good time. And I think that really helps when the later half, when everybody starts dying, you actually care, because it's not just these random people. You've actually grown to care for these people.
Especially because, don't get me wrong, they are like, it just, everything seems to be happening too easy. You know what I mean? There's like no conflict in the first half of the movie. Like everything's just going like the way you want it to happen. Like Michael B. Jordan, I forget which one of the twins, goes up and goes to like the general store and is just like, hey, we need this. We're having a grand opening at our club tonight. We need all this supplies. And then like like you don't realize it's a joke, but like the person working the register is like being rude to them. And then like 5 seconds later, they're like, "Oh, we're just messing with you." They're like great friends. It's just like you feel great throughout the entire
Yeah.
movie. And, well, the entire movie, the first half, and then obviously
Then the
the
turn,
big
I
turn.
locked. There's a part where you just like, whenever the vampire shit goes down, you lock in. You're like, okay. I had to pee so bad, and like some vampire shit was already happening. I was like, I felt it was like so. It was like they're giving us a breather. I'm like, I'm gonna go now, because like I couldn't. I was like, I don't want to miss anything, and I'm glad I didn't, because the second half of this movie is insane. There's still only about like 10 minutes action, but it's when it happens, it's really good.
That and like, dude, like even just the title, like Sinners, like Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, or and Sammy's character, or Sammy is the character, so never mind. But you get what I mean. The kid.
Yeah,
They're all sinners. Like the kid rejects his dad's teaching of like following his way to be a pastor in order to pursue his dreams, which I personally don't like think is a sin, but in the context of the movie, he is sinning by doing that. Especially since he clearly has the power to summon like some pretty evil
evil. Yeah,
stuff, but he does it anyways. And you get to see how different the lives turn out. Like Michael B. Jordan's Haley Steinfeld are sinners, clearly because they're like, they are vampires. They're probably turning other people into vampires. And, they, I guess you could say, succumb to the thought process of vampire. And like, we're just like sold on that. And you can see how different their lives like played out. Just, Ryan Coogler just makes banger movies. Like I
he
think Ryan
does.
Coogler is one of the up and coming directors, and I'm glad that people are discovering that. Like I hate to say up and coming, like he
He's
has
made
been
multiple
established,
movies, but
but like
I'm
it's
glad
to the.
he's getting into I want him to stay in this original, like, bro could be the next Nolan. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
this proved to me that like it's just really good. Like this is up there. It's better than some Nolan movies for me. It just has that originality that like you
Mhm.
feel out of those movies. That's what I got here.
I could like because right now, like if you would have told me is Ryan Coogler a good director, I'd have been like yes before this. But now, like after this movie, I think whatever Ryan Coogler comes out with next, the trailer could look like dog shit. I don't know, but like
I'll be
I'm
there.
going to be hyped
Yeah.
because it's a Ryan Coogler movie now, and I think that has. And that's awesome when you can say that. Like that shows that Ryan Coogler has proven himself. Also, but then again, like what if Michael B. Jordan's not in it? Is that his, does he need Michael B. Jordan
Yeah.
to make a good movie?
Michael B. Jordan and him just make a really good team, because oftentimes in his movies, Michael B. Jordan's the standout. Like Black Panther, I do think Killmonger's the standout character. That's just what I
Yeah.
think. And it's all due to Michael B. Jordan just being a really good actor. and obviously he's the standout in Creed, and obviously here in this movie, his dual performance, I think he got to play a little bit more with it. So
That and like, obviously I'm not black and you are not either. Maybe that's news to you. Uh, but I do think he does a good job at telling black stories because clearly every single one of them has been very tied into, the black community.
yeah,
And I think it's great that he is really good at telling those stories. I think that helps with a lot of his box office sales. I think a lot of black people see his movies and know you're going to get a good black story, so they go and see it, which is like respectable, obviously. I'm white and can respect a good black story, so
it's like it's authentic in a way because
hmm
it doesn't feel like, because there's some movies where, let me think, like Ocean's 8, I think, where it's like all female. It just feels like they're shoving in your face that it's like an all female movie, whereas
hmm
these are more subtle. Like, you don't, it's very tied into the culture, but not in a
yes.
way that like it beats you over the head with it. It's just, it's an appreciation of it rather than
hmm
being like, here's like an all black movie or like something like that. Or like, it's a very natural and just a great way of doing it because it's his life, it's his culture. So, and it
hmm
bleeds through in the movie that it feels like him basically.
Yeah, and like obviously I can't attest to like how well accurately he portrayed, black stories and black culture because I'm not black, but he seemed like he did a good job.
I
And
felt things in this movie.
yeah,
There's a scene where, I think I talked about this earlier, I didn't want to spoil it, but they they do like a one take while Sammy's
that's
playing
the
the
best scene in
guitar,
the
and then
movie.
you get like all these different musicians from past, present, and future, and it's just like the cool, like, you, I've never felt like that sucked into a movie in a way that
hmm
I did in that scene, and it was
Like that
amazing.
is a scene that like I think is arguably the best scene in the movie. And if you take it out of context, you're gonna be very confused
Oh
because
yeah.
it is like a what the fuck is going on. Excuse my French in this movie. And but once you get up to that point, it makes sense. It's really great, and I hear a lot of people are saying like there's a lot of appreciation of like black culture and music in that. So I don't know,
It's
like
like,
I
even
said.
though it is set in the 30s, you just get like,
hmm
it's of all eras, because like some people like, like rap focused movies, whereas like the like it's a blues focused movies. I don't know how often we really get these. I don't think I've ever seen one that's more blues focused, and like the blues in this is so good.
I mean, I've watched what was it? Gosh, why am I forgetting? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That's a pretty blues focused movie.
It is, yeah.
But uh no, what I was saying is like it was just cool how they tied in not only like, music from back and like it seemed like, African, very indigenous
Yeah.
African music. Like I don't want to like say the wrong terms. It probably is
It's
the
like,
wrong
I don't
term.
know what it is, but you,
Yeah.
yeah, I get what you mean. There was a lot of like,
And then to see, that alongside like it had like 80s like rock.
and he's weaving all this like
Yeah.
into the music itself. Like it becomes one song that incorporates
hmm
an entire history of music. It is such a cool scene.
I'm pretty sure I saw like a rapper in there as well.
There
So like
was, yeah.
it was good.
And there was a guy,
I
he was
really
doing
enjoyed
the
it.
DJ, he was spinning it. So like, it's so cool. I can't wait for some YouTube videos are gonna come out breaking down this scene. It's gonna be so cool to watch. I hope they might have already. I hope like Ryan Coogler and the composer come out and do like a, because sometimes Variety, or I think it's Variety, they do like a scene where like a director will break down the scene. I want to see the movie makers break down that scene.
hmm
Out of any of them in the movie, that was the one I want to see the most.
I will say this is like my, like I guess you could say, call to action for like anybody listening. If you're a fan of movies, something like this, I don't think a lot of people like were expecting this type of movie, like at least for it to be this good. Like, I had not heard of this movie like 2 weeks ago. So like what I'm saying is if you're a fan of movies, download an app like Letterboxd or like keep in touch with like social media like IMDb, IGN, even though I don't trust all their reviews, or Rotten Tomatoes, stuff like that, to like keep track of like when like good movies are coming out because they may not get all the traction and like, advertising and stuff before they come out, and you might not like expect it to be good. But if you keep up with those apps, you can see like movies that are out that are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Because I want these type of movies to get more support. Like I do think, and I don't think there's any fixing this, and I don't think it's necessarily bad, but I wish like good movies like this could start making the amount of money that like big franchise movies are getting.
One day, like Oppenheimer proved it's possible. Oppenheimer is $1 billion movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it's
we're on track. Cinema is healing. That's what we need.
Yes.
We need original movies like this to make a killing at the box office, so that way we get more stuff.
Yeah, like I heard, and there is like also the flip side to original movies. Like I saw someone saying, it's like people are wanting all these original movies. There's 3 original movies out right now, and no one's watching them. And I looked at like the reviews for them, and like they really weren't that good. Like the best one was like Novocaine, and Novocaine looked like from the reviews I saw, it was just looked like it was a cool, fun movie. Like it was nothing like super groundbreaking. It's just like yes, like yeah, that I want more original movies, but I would like them to be like
I want
pretty
Sinners.
good.
I want Sinners
Yes,
movie.
which
You
is
know,
a
like,
tall task. Not everybody can crank out Sinners,
it's like
but
you need
like,
to. This is a movie you want to aspire to be. That
mm-hmm,
like any movie maker will see this, and it's like I want to make something as good as that one day. And I think that's just like that's what we should all take away from this, is that it can still be done. You can still tell an original story, and also like Ryan Coogler, like he's not, even though he's still making MCU movies. He's going to make all the Black Panther movies. He's not burdened by that. It's not like
mm-hmm,
that's his only DNA is to make, because like the Russo brothers, they've only made just slop after being in the MCU. And a lot of people get worried after the MCU. They feel like they've been through the machine and they're only going to make movies like this. This proves that you can still make something that's original and doesn't feel cheap like you've seen it before. And
mm-hmm.
Sinners does that really well.
And especially like I said, I think this is going to help out Ryan Coogler a lot more, because now I'm sure I'm not the only person that now is like, next Ryan Coogler movie, I'm there. Like
Yeah.
I'm expecting
He's
it to
gotten
be
up
great.
there with Nolan and Denis Villeneuve. He's up there now with them, where like any movie that comes out of his, I'm gonna be there.
And we need to keep supporting these original movies that are good, so that we can get directors to work their way up to that status, because I think that's what's going to get these original movies to get a good push, is whenever like directors start getting a big name of themselves. And we can't get these directors to get good names for themselves if we're not there supporting them, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yes, the movie will still be like, it could still be a 10 out of 10 original movie, but if it's not making any money, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make any more movies.
Yeah.
So call to action for all movie fans. Show up, support.
Go watch Sinners. Do it. It's a good movie.
I think I gave it like 4.5
I gave
out
it
of
a 4.5.
5.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.5 out of 10.
Which I don't know. Like the more I think about this movie, I really think like in a rewatch, I could give it 5. Like this
I
is one of
could
those
give it
movies
5.
I think is going to be
I don't
better
know what
as you
made
watch it
me.
again.
I don't know what made me not want to give it a 5. It's like I doubt. Like it's like I think it's like the post movie thing where I'm like, I don't know if I want to go that high yet. Like I need to sit with it. So I'll give it a 4.5. But I would say I'm gonna give it a rewatch. I don't know if I'll go back to the theaters and see it, because I do want to go see Until Dawn this week.
I also want to see Warfare. I think I'm going to see that tomorrow.
Warfare, I do want to see that. There's a lot of movies out right now I want to go see. Revenge of the Sith comes back to theaters this week. I want to go see that in theaters. Then next week's Thunderbolts. And then May's pretty full. There's, Mission Impossible. There might be time for me to go see it. We'll just have to see. But I think on a rewatch, this is a definite potential 5-star movie, because like thinking back, the way I do 5-star, I'm very, very liberal with it. I don't give them out just willy-nilly. I really like.
You're not liberal with it then.
Yes, that is true. Yes, I said that wrong. Anyways,
you're conservative.
But yeah, so I try to like rein it in. I only do it if I'm like, that is a perfect movie. I wouldn't change anything about it. I don't know if I change anything about Sinners. Now I'm thinking about it. After talking about it, I'm like, it's the best movie of the year. I doubt it'll get topped after seeing it. If it gets topped, we get some pretty good movies this year.
That's what I mean. Like if it gets topped, it's going to be something that like I've never heard of, which is a possibility. You look at the winners; it's all a bunch of movies that like I haven't, like you may have not ever heard of.
I'm holding out for Superman and Mission
until
Impossible. I'm holding out, but we'll see. We'll see. I doubt they're better than this movie, but we'll see.
Yep.
That's all I really had to say about it.
That's it. As far as next week for what we could talk about,
I do have to say, I don't know how much we'll have to talk about it. Sam and I, Bungie did give us access to the marathon. We're going to be able to play it. So depending on, I guess, how much we enjoy it, we'll have some thoughts for next week's episode minimum. Now, as for main topic, if the Oblivion remake does come out, we could talk about that. I think that'll be easier one to talk about, at least for me, because I don't have to beat the game because I've already beat it. I kind of just have to assess how good of a job they did keeping the spirit but updating, but we'll see. I would say next week it's all up in the air because we don't know for sure. I would say at least expect some marathon stuff because we're for sure going to be able to play that. And then Oblivion's on the table. But I think next week probably end up being a variety episode
That's
because
fine.
I don't know what else is coming up.
I'll probably, like you said, I'm like 90% sure I'm gonna go watch Warfare tomorrow. Sometimes school stuff comes up, so to where that doesn't get to happen. But and that means
I did
I
want
can
to.
talk about it a little
Accountant
bit.
2 does come out this week. I may go watch that.
I haven't watched the first Accountant, which apparently is good.
I don't think you really need to, but it is a good movie. This movie is just going to be Ben Affleck and John Bernthal just tearing shit up. So it's your dad action movie, but it's going to be, I hope it's just like one of those where I'm like, that's a good dad action movie. Like it's not, I get better vibes out of this than I would like a Jason Statham movie coming out.
Yes.
And it's probably just due to me like liking John Bernthal. So
true. And like you said, these are good actors. They've been in good stuff. Trust the process.
Yeah, so far I would say expect next week minimum we're going to talk some marathon. We'll see what news comes up this week, and then I'm fingers crossed tomorrow everything will be revealed. Let me play Oblivion, Bethesda. Give it to me. So we'll just have to see.
But yeah, I do think that is it.
That wraps it up. Thanks for listening. Give us a 5-star review on Spotify, please, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Peace.
See ya.